I'll be back soon.
Hi, it's Jody from Melbourne Natural Wellness here, and I'm just letting you know that I'm at Dr. Salt today in Hampton, and today we're going to learn about how salt therapy can help you with allergies, boost your immune system, and really help relieve stress. So we're going to hear from Karen, who's the owner of Dr. Salt Therapy, and she's going to tell us all about how it can help us.
Okay, so this is essentially a salt therapy room, and I'll explain to you how everything works. The bricks on the wall are made of salt, as well as the floor. We use salt that comes from the Ukraine, the reason being that different salts from around the world are made up of different compositions, so there's different elements. So if you're familiar with like the Himalayan salts, they've got that pinkish colour to them. That's because it has the presence of metals and ions. Something like the Dead Sea is also a different type of structure. It's more liquid. It's, have any of you ever been to the Dead Sea? Yeah. Did you have anything sting you when you went inside? No? I feel like the key thing that people come out of the Dead Sea with is like, I now know where all the cuts on my bodies are and all the rashes, and yeah. Okay, so that again has a different composition to it. For the purpose of salt therapy, we're looking for a high purity factor of the sodium chloride, which is the salt's component, without the presence of other metals and ions, purely for that direct accessibility into the body. So these bricks come from the Ukraine because they're 98% sodium chloride and 2% magnesium. So that offers nothing to interfere with that you breathing in the salt particles. Salt therapy was discovered when miners spent a lot of time digging through the salt caves, and by them being in the salt caves for extended periods of time, it became noticeable that they had better respiratory health compared to the local community. So this mimics that environment in the sense that it's relatively cooler in here, and it's insulated, and you're just breathing in everything that you're surrounded by. Some people ask me whether the more people in the room prevent them benefiting the most from being in here, but in fact the more people that are in here, the more energy is being stimulated. So you're breathing in the tiny particles as they're circulating, and they're making their way into your respiratory system, and they affect how the rest of your body functions, but that's where it does most of its work. Now, once the salt enters your body, it's a completely non-invasive way, so just by you breathing, you are breathing in all the particles. It doesn't have anything to do with exposure, it's just your breathing. Salt has 4 natural characteristics. So it's an antibacterial substance, it kills anything that doesn't need to be there. It's an anti-inflammatory, so a lot of people have an extent of internal inflammation. It's asymptomatic, but it can often be a contributing factor to other sort of illnesses, disease or conditions that are going on, or just general sort of mood, energy levels and things like that. Inflammation is known as the silent killer because we can't always detect it. Salt is also an anti-allergen. So for those who have allergies, your body has an autoimmune response which is developed and ready to become activated when you come into contact with the allergen. Irrespective of whether you know what that allergen is, the salt helps relax that defense mechanism in the hope that your reaction is then less severe when you do break out. And lastly, salt is an antiseptic. So once it's cleared everything out of your body, and it does literally clear it out, it's going to bring up and expel anything that doesn't need to be there. It then acts to help create a more manageable environment. So what we find in people that have congestion problems or reoccurring symptoms with anything that they're coming for is that their bodies are never really clearing and detoxifying themselves properly. There's always that remaining percentage that allows the things to reoccur because it's as if the bacteria or the congestion is lingering. So the salt is able to sort of really kick out that last point to help it coming back as frequently or as strongly as it previously might have. Now, the way the therapy works is that you stay in the room for 1 hour. While you're actually in the room, there are other health benefits. The salt opens up your airways, so it allows better breathing through better oxygen exchange and, as a result, better blood flow. And the reason why I always yawn and the reason why people fall asleep is that salt generates negative ions. So everything is a balance between energy levels. Salt is very dominantly negative. That strong energy being a healing component and the strongest energy in the room allows your body to shut down. So your nervous system, your immune system, your defense mechanisms, any stress hormones that are circulating are able to be partly deactivated and allowing your body to relax. Now, I can see it in all of you, and I see it in everyone that comes in here. Everyone's eyes start glazing over as I'm talking to them, and then I can see that I'm losing you. That's a good thing. It tells me that you're breathing and you're relaxing and you feel good in here. Now, some people fall asleep. Some people just lose track of time. Sometimes I come in here and people don't understand where the hour's gone. or as long as you just feel content and not particularly restless, we know that you're relaxed, because if I put you in another room for an hour, you'd probably get a little fidgety. So keep in mind that type of comparison, so just help monitor how relaxed you're feeling in here if you're not falling asleep.